Hi guys, so I know my next YouTube video is long overdue, so I'm gonna go straight into this one. Life has been flogging me. Let me set up my camera. Brilliant. So this topic is a serious one, and I've got my notes on my laptop. So I wrote down the fact that adulthood is not adulting. In fact, adulthood is a scam. I say this because, growing up, we had watched all these fairy tales, and in these fairy tales, the princess, she's always so vulnerable, and she's forever waiting for her prince, and when she finds her prince, everything just falls into place. As a lady growing up and listening to all that, I really had the perception of how easy it would be to be an adult. And in the UK, I can speak for the UK, you're not really prepared to become an adult. You basically go to school, and the things that you learn in school necessarily don't apply in your adulthood. Like, you don't really learn how to pay your bills. You don't really get educated in how to go about, getting your own property. You kind of just hustle your way, and the grace of God finds you. Or some people, they had generational favors. You land yourself in a good job that pays well, and everything falls into place. However, if you're on the other tail where you have to struggle, things don't easily fall into place. So before I start ranting, the main topic is to say that delay is not denial, and I will go into that a bit later on. But for now, let me talk about my struggles of becoming an adult, and I hope a lot of you can relate to it. So growing up, I grew up in Germany. Moved at the tender age of 13. So this is going to include like a little bio of my life. At 13, I came to the UK, and I was quite happy because I thought it would be very diverse, because obviously I'm going to be more around more black people. And I thought, yay, well, nay, because moving to the UK for me was more of a traumatic experience. And then I guess going into school, I figured out that black people had this thing where you were too black to fit in. You had to be a certain complexion and class. Sadly, I don't even know how to express it, but as you can see, I am caramel. Jokes aside, I am chocolate, and chocolate was too dark to fit into the groups within my school at that time. So I struggled. Somehow I finished primary school, went to college. After college, finished university. After university, I then went on to purchase my first property. I was at the age of 21, which was nice. I worked really hard. I remember going 2 to 3 jobs. 3 jobs for my first and second year. I had 3 jobs my third year of university, but I couldn't hack it, so I reduced down to 2 jobs. At the age of 21, I moved to Manchester, and God blessed me within, I think, after staying in Manchester for a couple of months, I think probably 8 months, he enabled me to buy my first property. I can go into that in a different story, but the main point I'm making is, once I moved into that house, I had no clue about utility bills. I thought you buy the property, that's it, you pay your mortgage, and that includes everything. But what a lie. So I remember my first year, how I was hustling to make money, and then it gets swallowed up by the government, and you just try your best to make ends meet. And sometimes when you look at your life and you know the promises that God has given you, and how things don't fall into alignment, you get very discouraged. And as an adult, because you have so many things attacking you, in the sense of there's so many responsibilities, there's so many things that you have to do, there's so many things that you want to achieve, sometimes you miss out on the purpose of God. I've got white walls, so I don't know if my knuckles are white. Anyway, you miss out on the purpose of God. And when you miss out on the purpose of God, by the time you clock on that, oh my gosh, I'm actually far away from God, by the time you realize, it's like, oh my gosh, I've delayed myself. But hold on now. God said delay is not denial. I'm going to go into the story of Lazarus. Can you believe, the ladies came to Jesus like, Jesus, Lazarus is dying. Let me read the scriptures. This is located in John 11. John 11, ladies came to Jesus. Lazarus, Martha, Bethany. So Lazarus was sick in the city of Bethany, the town of Mary and her sister Martha. They came to the Lord and said, Lord, Lazarus is sick. The Lord's response to that is, his sickness is not unto death, but for the glory of God. His sickness is not unto death. Let me continue. So Jesus didn't move. Jesus stayed. Verse 5, 6, 8, 9. Around 9, Jesus said to the disciples, when Jesus decided to head back, that Lazarus was sleeping. Unknown to the disciples, Lazarus was dead. But if you remember what it stayed in verse 4, God said that the sickness was not unto death. The man died. Let's continue. I am going to read from 12. Then his John 11 verse 12. Then his disciples said, Lord, if he's sleeping, he will get well. However, Jesus spoke of his death, but they thought that he was speaking about taking rest in sleep. Then Jesus said to them plainly, Lazarus is dead. And I'm glad for your sake, that I was not there, that you may believe. Nevertheless, let us go to him. By the time Jesus arrived to Lazarus, it appeared as if it was delayed because Lazarus was dead. By the time Jesus and the disciples arrived to Lazarus, they were about to bury him. But the Lord had other plans. And by the time he told Lazarus to rise up, there was nothing in time that could prevent Lazarus from getting up. And that's what life has taught me. And I understand why this message has been so delayed, and it's so funny that I'm preaching this, or I'm teaching this in this season and this time of my life. Excuse the white things on my hands, guys. It comes from the wall. Look, from the walls. I haven't got dry skin. Back to the point. It's crazy to me that I'm preaching about this right now in the season of my life, because time and seasons are in the hands of the Maker. And you may feel like you have delayed a lot of things in your life, but believe me, delay is not denial. I'm going to speak about another verse, which is Romans 8:28. Romans 8:28 says this beautifully. And we know that all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose. You know how the Bible says about focusing on God and the fact that everything else will be added onto you? You may not see it, you may not feel it, but best believe that he will add everything else to you, no matter what season you're in, no matter how much adulthood is a scam, no matter how reluctant your life or confusing your life may seem. No, he will work it out for your good. Just like Lazarus, I say unto you today, rise up, love the Lord and serve him, and believe in the prophecy that's been spoken over your life. Bye guys, until next time.